Since 2000, I have had the occasion to accompany Their Excellencies ambassadors of the Principality of Monaco to various countries. I think in Japan, you were there once, a long time ago.
Yes,
We've
yes,
also
yes.
worked with the ambassador of Monaco to Rome, to Moscow, to Paris. For me, again, going back to what we we're talking about, culture and travel is diplomacy. It's the connection between different peoples from different lands, different cultures coming together to communicate with each other, to share with each other, maybe for to develop mutual interest, to develop prosperity, to develop trade. But music, as well as food, is a very beautiful way of bringing people together in a very simple, direct, and human way. So I think that diplomacy linked with culture is a very smart way of sharing the interest or sharing the projects of one country with another. It is a bridge.
Without being subjugated to the particular agenda of a government. I think it's a very seductive way of practicing diplomacy. I agree with you. You can bring things to the table that will not be censored or will not be altered by people who do the usual diplomacy where you can say that but not say this. I like the fact that as a musician, when you practice diplomacy, you keep entirely your freedom.
Well, because as musicians, because music is universal, and I have to say that classical music, especially, is one of the art form that is the most inclusive. That's the word we're using a lot today. Inclusive in the sense that anyone from around the world can learn to play the piano, learn to play the violin. There are symphonic orchestras in Asia, in Africa, in Middle East, in South America. So this is a, if we can say, an indigenous European art form that has been open to all human beings around the world. And that having this common language, it brings us together. And in the sense that diplomacy is able to understand each other and speak each other's language. So that when I, as a Chinese musician born in Beijing, play an opera by Verdi or by, a ballet by Rimsky-Korsakov, that is already diplomacy right there because we have gone beyond our own frontiers, our own cultures. So I think music as an art form, especially classical music, is the best example of the beauty and the good we can create when we come together, when there are no walls, no frontiers, when there's openness.
So, what do you think the musical diplomacy model that you're utilizing has not been adequately and more broadly exploited around the world?
I think that it has been used already uh, by many countries. If you see each country, sometimes when they have these the culture ambassadors, whether it's a choir or a dance troupe or an orchestra, promoting the culture and the interests of their own country when they travel. Here we go, travel again, when we go on tour. And this is musical diplomacy. Since I've joined the Orchestre Philharmonique de Monte Carlo, we have played often in other countries, a lot of countries in Europe.
But if I may cut you for a second, what they do not necessarily do is that they do not raise funds. So not only do you practice musical diplomacy, but you also raise funds for causes. They don't do that most of the time. They are paid by the government to show the excellence of a country, and that's it, which is good enough already. I agree with you.
Yes, I think musical diplomacy is a very classical concept, and it has been used. But musical philanthropy, I believe that jungle music had pushed this concept a little bit further because, as I said before earlier, usually there are charity concerts, sometimes organized by mega stars, like Live Aid, or I think there was a big concert for COVID. So this is all very exciting, but these are very rare occasions, and it usually is initiated after some major calamity. But people need help all the time. People, the environment. I believe that we should turn music philanthropy into a regular mission, not only as exceptional moments bringing people together. Because we see the effects that when musicians, artists, entertainers coming together, raise funds, raise awareness towards a cause, there's a huge effect, positive effect. So jungle music is trying to promote the idea that why don't we do these kind of events more often, everywhere?